we're going to talk about the Beracha of Birkat HaShanim, the blessing of the year. We know that the 9th Beracha in Shmona Esrei is the Birkat HaParnasah. A lot of people have misconception. They wait till Shema Kolenu, right, to raise their hands to the sky and say, Hashem, come on, rip the sky open, start pouring the abundance of shefa, of good, right? Parnasah, money, everything. Let's go. Shema Kolenu, they do a very good job on it. But we know very well that the right time to do it is not the time. It's not the time to do it at the time of Shema. It is the right time to do Shema Kolenu, but the most proper time is when? Is the time when you say Birkat HaShanim. Before we say to Hashem, Ki Ata Tov U'Metiv L'Kol, right? When we say U'Malech HaShanim, before you say that, say to Hashem, Hashem, please give me Parnasah. That is the Beracha of Shanim. Okay? Another good thing you should do is when you do pray for Parnasah for yourself, if you know somebody is not feeling well, pray for him too. Hashem should give Parnasah as well. Why? Because Hashem gives Parnasah only to living, not to the ones who are going to die. Okay? So please do yourself a favor. If you don't know, we cannot break the decree through in Birkat HaRefuah, we could always break the decree in Birkat HaShanim in the blessings of the year. Now we know the Gemara in Masechet Ta'anit. The Gemara in Masechet Ta'anit says that in Eretz Israel, the right time to say V'ten Tal Umatar Livracha, Hashem, please give us dew and rain, right? For a blessing throughout the whole entire year. We start in Eretz Israel. The halacha is they start from Zayin Mar Cheshvan. They start from the 7th of Cheshvan, which is not so in Chutz La'aretz. In America and in the diaspora outside of Eretz Israel, they don't need so much rain. Now, why is it that Eretz Israel needs more rain and throughout the world they don't need so much rain? Because very simple calculation. Since Eretz Israel, the Gemara is considered to be the most highest place in the world, and the highest place in the world, when the water comes on top of it, it simply flows further. It flows to the lower points of the world. So therefore, in Eretz Israel, they need more water than they need in the diaspora outside of Eretz Israel.
But it's not the highest place in the world, though.
The Chazal say it is. Okay, so we will argue on that. I don't know when, but let's go further. But anyway, we're not in the geographics or whatever it is, maps of the world, but Chazal say Eretz is Gvura Mikol Haaretz, so it is the highest place of the rest of the world, and it needs more rain than any other places. Now, what about Chutz La'aretz? When is the right time to ask for rain outside of Israel? Now, the right time to ask for rain outside Eretz Israel is nothing to do with the lunar year. It has to do already with the sol. If Eretz Israel, with halacha applies to the lunar year. But the outside of Israel, the law applies to already the solar year. We have to go with the tkufot, with the seasons. Now we know that the seasons, they change. Baruch Hashem, we have in seasons, we have a total of 4. As we all know, summers, fall, right, winter and spring. These are the 4 seasons of the year. Okay? So we know very well that the seasons, they change. Tkufat Tishrei, the fall ends by December 4, when December 5, right, when there's no leap year, and December 4 when it is a leap year. Now, which means, I made sure I didn't make a mistake. Let's go further. Now, December 5, when it's throughout the 4-year cycle, right? 3 of the years, we know that December 5th is the time to ask to change. Now, the right time, and when it's a leap year, we do a day earlier. Now, here is, we do it on December 4. Now, here is the calculation. Comes a very interesting nafkamina la'alacha. Listen to this. If a person comes to playing Arvit, right, he forgot on December, right, when is it? December 4th at night. He forgot to say, V'ten Tal Umatar Livracha. He didn't say Ten Tal Umatar Livracha. Didn't say it. The halacha is, what should a person do? It's a big machloket poskim. Since we know very well that the year has every time additional 6 hours. And a little bit more. Okay? Since it has 6 hours, every year has 6 hours more than the year before. Right? Than the way it was. Which means, the reason why, it's supposed to be 365 days plus a quarter of a day. And a little bit more, or a little bit less, whichever way we go. Now, once we get to 365 in 6 days, so we do it 3 times, right? 1, 2, 3 becomes 18. On the 4th year, it's 24 hours. We add a whole additional day. Okay? Now, there's a big machloket poskim. It says like this. Shmuel said in the Gemara that we have to wait 60 days, right? After the season, fall season begins, that is the time to ask for the rain. So he says, comes out question, big machloket in the Rishonim, is those 60 days, do we say they're full 24 hour 60 days? Each day has to be me'et ra'et, full 24 hours each? Or we say no, it doesn't have to be full 24 hours. Now, there are many poskim, they hold that it has to be full 24 hours. So a lot of times, so listen, when the tkufot are changing, the first time it changes at 9 o'clock at night. So a person who prays before 9 o'clock, theoretically, if he didn't ask for rain yet, it's not the time to ask. Right? Or let's say in the 2nd year, when we know that the time to ask for the tkufa is changing already, is going to be a little bit later. So it jumps from 9 to 3, from 3 to 9, from 9 again to 3. So this is how the calculations work. Now we hold the halakha not like this at all. So therefore will be halakha like this. If a person in Alvit of December 4, he did not ask for rain, because of this safek, if he has to pray or not, he will have to pray with at night. He has to say a condition. If it's halakha that I have to wait, I don't have to wait for full 24 hours. I don't have to wait a full 24 hours. So my prayer that I prayed is if I don't have to wait full 24 hours, my prayer that I prayed is invalid. It's not a good prayer. And therefore, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to fix my mistake. But if the halakha is that we have to wait full 24 hours, a person who prays earlier than the time when the tkufa changes, when the seasons change, his prayer is a good prayer. So he has to make a condition. If I pray on time, so then my prayer should be right. No, if it's the time to change for the season, therefore the halakha is what my prayer is invalid, because I have to fix the mistake. And if the prayer was, if I prayed not when the tkufa didn't come yet, so my prayer is a good prayer. So what I'm praying right now is a gift to Hashem, an additional prayer that I want to pray on my own. Now comes very practical halakha, a very interesting thing. It says like this, that I will skip a lot of it, but it says like this: a person did not ask for rain when he's supposed to. How can he fix the problem? There are 2 times a person can fix this mistake. Like, for example, today we had an example. The Chazan said, Balachenu, right? And he finished saying, right? He finished the whole thing very quickly, short. And people said, Balachalenu. So I told the Chazan, say right away, before he even says the Kab Shofar, before he began the next Beracha, I told him, say, V'ten Tal Umatar Livracha. And then continue to the Kab Shofar. That works. That brings this down, the Shita of the Magen Avraham. Of course, it is better to fix it in Shomea Tefillah. But still, since he did not start yet, the new bracha is still considered to be part of the previous bracha, and therefore it's not a problem at all.
How do we fix it in Shomea Tefillah?
Now, a person in the middle of Shomea Tefillah, what it says over there, before he says Ki ata Shomea Tefillat Kol Peh, before he says the final Ki ata Shomea Tefillah, say over there, V'ten Tal Umatar Livracha. Now, let's say a person passed Shema Kolenu. He went to Retzeh, he went to Modim, he went to Atov Shimcha, he said to Sim Shalom, right? He's about to take, right? He says Elokai Netzor, and he says, what did I do? I made a mistake. The halacha is, go back to Birkat HaShanim, go back to Barech Aleinu, and from there continue in the proper order. Now, once a person came to an end, and he said, he's about to take his foot off, right? The left foot is about to take off. The halacha is, he has to go back to the beginning of Shmona Esrei.
How come it's not a problem when we say either, when do we first switch? What do we first switch in the second, in the third, in the second baracha?
Molid Atal Mashiv Aluach.
Right.
Okay.
If we say Molid Atal, it's not a problem.
He points out a very interesting thing. In the winter time, not summertime, in the winter time, if a person said Molid Atal and he did not say Mashiv Aluach Molid Ageshem, Mishnah Berurah brings down halacha, since he did mention some sort of theoretically speaking, an idea that Hashem brings down water to the world by mentioning the word Tal, by mentioning the dew, the halacha is, he is Yotzei Yedei Chova. That is good enough.
So why can't
Since he said, did say a little bit. No, by Birkat Hashanim, no, it doesn't work that way. Because there, in the second bracha, you're only there to mention the powers of Hashem. You're not asking for anything specifically. So because you mentioned one power of Hashem, if you don't say, for example, the Ashkenazim, if they don't say Morid Atal. So if they didn't say Mashiv Ruach, they have to go back.
What do you mean this?
The Ashkenazim, they never say Morid Atal. Only the Nusach Sfar, those who follow the Minhag Ari, they say Morid Atal.
What do they say?
They just go, Atal Gibor L'Olam Hashem Ha'im V'Timatar Av Lo Shiam Ha'ker Ha'im B'Chesed. They don't say Morid Atal at all. So for them, it always comes out to be a problem. For them, it always comes out to be a problem. But for us, it's not a problem because we say Morid. By the way, Rabbi Yaakov Kaminetsky, towards going on later on in his life, when he was getting older, he made himself a new costume. Even though he was Ashkenaz, now Nusach, he was Litvish person, and he Lithuanian Jew, and he always said Morid Atal. He changed. He says, I rather say Morid Atal than get, shoot myself in the foot, right? When I keep saying Mashiv Ruach,
by winter they say Mashiv Ruach. By summer they don't say Morid Atal.
They don't say anything at all.
Okay.
Because Motal doesn't have to be mentioned at all. Speaking. Doesn't have to be at all. Okay.